Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch. When Season 4 of Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch began airing on November 20, 2024, it marked a turning point in the decade-long quest for lost Aztec gold beneath the 160-acre ranch in Utah's Uinta Basin. Showbiz Junkies. From the outset, the team partnered with specialists, geologists, treasure hunters, and ancient civilization experts to peer deeper into the secrets buried below the surface. The discoveries from this season stand out not just for their flashy drama, but for their potential to reshape what was thought possible about Aztec origins and migration paths sown. The Keyhole Cavern and Great Cavern Discovery Season 4 picked up where Season 3 left off, as soil samples from the south side of the keyhole-shaped formation yielded high nitrate levels, suggesting the presence of bat guano and, by extension, fissures leading to subterranean voids. When excavation finally revealed a tight entry, the team crawled nearly 150 feet into what became known as the Great Cavern. Inside, hand-cut timber resembling artifacts found in earlier digs offered concrete evidence of human passage deep underground. This perilous belly-crawl entrance represented one of the season's most tangible breakthroughs. The challenge of squeezing through such a narrow tunnel underscored how real and scientifically suggestive the geology and man-made alterations might be. This subterranean corridor provided a base from which all subsequent finds could be connected to. Evidence of ritualistic activity at the bead site. Another major discovery came at the bead site, where repeated excavation revealed beads and soot, smoking vents, and eventually structures interpreted as sacrificial altars. In Episode 5, an ancient altar emerged alongside indications of gold deposits within an abandoned strip mine high in the Uinta Mountains. The terrain shift, from arid ranchland to aspen and conifers, prompted controversy as critics noted it didn't match the alleged location, raising questions about staging and authenticity. Reddit. Nevertheless, the discovery of burnt animal skulls and ceremonial beads suggested an intentional ritual context, hinting at complex pre-contact cultural activity in the region. 3. Geological anomalies, smoke vents, and fault lines. At the bead site, Duane's drilling reportedly struck smoke vents, natural outgassing seams possibly tied to underground voids and the movement of subterranean aquifers. This phenomenon was later theorized by geologist Hector Estrella to be generated by underground water coursing through hidden channels, causing the mysterious rumblings felt across the ranch. Discovery. LiDAR scanning revealed a fault line beneath the landscape connecting various dig sites, an underground aqueduct system reminiscent of Aztec irrigation practices. This convergence of seismic signs and geophysical data suggested more than typical mining debris. Instead, the ranch's geological footprint could be a fragment of ancient engineering, part of a subterranean network that once supported human settlement and ceremony. 4. The Aztec Aqueduct and expert insights from Mexico City. In Episode 7, James traveled to Mexico City to consult Julio Escalante, an expert in Aztec culture, who presented findings that challenged traditional academic assumptions about Aztec migration. Evidence suggested that Aztec origins might trace northward toward Utah, rather than southward from central Mexico. 25yearslatersite.com. Meanwhile, Duane returned believing they may have breached an Aztec aqueduct at the bead site. Connecting underground waterways to a remote lake could signal a mechanism for protecting sacred treasure zones or burial spaces. The notion that the Aztec civilization may have roots in Utah introduced a radical reframing. That artifacts like jade beads and carved tablets transported south, not north, might be remnants of an earlier ancestral civilization now lost to history. 5. Hidden underwater cavern and submerged treasure chamber. The culminating revelation of the season came in episode 8, when a hidden entrance under a remote lake was discovered, leading into an underwater labyrinth of flooded tunnels. After dive training in Florida, Chad navigated a deadly maze to reach what he declared the Keyhole chamber at the heart of the system. The underwater passages held shards of artifacts and possibly even chiseled tablets that could be key to locating Montezuma's long-lost tomb. Beneath the rock formation above this submerged realm constituted the most cinematic and tangible discovery of the season, the first underwater route ever explored and mapped in the context of Aztec legend at Blind Frog Ranch 6. Artifact authentication. Jade beads, stone markers, and tablets. Experts like Bob Morton authenticated a jade bead found in previous seasons as likely a sacred Aztec object transported far from its origin, possibly even across the entire the landscape, were tentatively identified as ceremonial indicators, potentially part of ritual mapping or burial grounds. Press room. The prospect of discovering a chiseled tablet buried in a remote cave offered a tantalizing if fragile lead. As yet unexcavated in full, it represented a glimpse of written record previously unseen in Uinta Basin Soil 7. Paranormal and Cryptid Undercurrents Season 4 did not shy away from the supernatural. Speculation among viewers and some participants hinted at skinwalkers, mysterious shimmering air, and even giant wolf prints resembling dire wolves within cave passages. Reddit. These phenomena, while unverified, fed a mythology around the land that blurred lines between legend and archaeological reality. Rumbling echoes in underground chambers, supposed shape-shifting creatures, and trespasser incidents added layers of mystique, even as skeptics criticized the show's credibility. 8. Unresolved clues and potential for future seasons. Despite the dramatic discoveries, many mysteries remained unresolved. A drill hole that supposedly touched a subterranean void was later filled with water and produced reverberating sounds, pointing to a large chamber still unexplored. Reddit. Unexplained infrared visions, introductory projections of a possessed figure, and hints of government interference or secret military installations all teased revelations never fully addressed on screen. Reddit. Even fan criticism noted geographic inconsistencies, such as the cave terrain not matching the ranch property, raising doubts about how much of the footage reflected actual site conditions. Narrative cohesion in the face of skepticism. Viewed as a season-long narrative, Season 4 delivered a tightly woven sequence of escalating discoveries. It began with tangible geological evidence and creeping promise, then built to symbolic artifacts, and ultimately to an audacious underwater expedition. Expert contributions from fields as varied as geology, chemistry, archaeology, and Aztec history lent the show a veneer of credibility, even as critics accused it of staging tension for entertainment value. In the dry heart of Utah's Uinta Basin, where scrubland meets sandstone, lies a stretch of earth so stubbornly mysterious that it has defied skeptics and enchanted treasure hunters for generations. Blind Frog Ranch, an enigmatic 160-acre property, has been at the center of whispered legends and bold expeditions. Yet it was in Season 4 of Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch that the tale seemed to tighten its grip on something deeper, something more ancient, more visceral, and arguably more unbelievable than anyone had imagined. Season 4 elevated the show from rugged adventure into the realm of potential history-altering revelation. With each dig, dive, and descent into the unknown, the veil between myth and geology thinned. The season unfolded like a living map of mystery, and along its course, a series of discoveries reshaped the narrative of the land forever one. The Keyhole cavern, and the doorway beneath the earth this season opened on high tension, inherited from the unfinished threads of the previous year. All clues pointed toward a strange, keyhole-shaped depression on the southern end of the ranch, a formation long suspected to hide something unnatural beneath. Soil samples suggested a chemical signature consistent with decaying organic material, hinting at the presence of bats and possibly larger voids underground. As excavation began, the earth gave way to a hidden passage. The entrance was narrow, nearly impassable. Explorers had to crawl for hundreds of feet through jagged tunnels, air thinning, walls pressing inward, to reach a natural cathedral carved into the stone. This keyhole cavern was not just a chamber, it was a threshold. Inside the great cavity, signs of deliberate alteration were evident. Timber graces, hand-hewn and decaying, jutted from walls like the ribs of a fossilized beast. These timbers bore the unmistakable marks of human craft, despite lying in a space that no modern tool had touched in centuries. Here, for the first time, the theory of a hidden subterranean system transitioned from possibility to probability too. Ritual beads and burnt offerings. The bead site unveiled as exploration continued. Another location earned prominence, the site ominously nicknamed the bead site. Earlier seasons had hinted at its relevance, but Season 4 ripped the curtain back to reveal something far more complex. Buried beneath sediment and soot lay a stone platform scorched by ancient fire. Charred animal remains and fragments of ceremonial beads littered its surface. Analyzing these items revealed materials not native to the region: jade, obsidian, and polished bone. Each fragment pointed toward a ritualistic past, a possible intersection of spiritual practice and treasure concealment.